Well, greetings to you. What a wonderful Thursday. For those of you who have life and health, and you have not suffered from the corrosion of your brain, or time has not eroded your personality, and you're doing fine. In Guyana and beyond, and in the diaspora, because I do have international viewers. I quite frankly have viewers as far as China, Australia. Persons that have nothing to do with Guyana seem to be tuning into my show. And I'm grateful. I'm honored. I do have a faithful Chinese donor who has been supporting the program for quite some while. But today, we have a lot to talk about. So for those persons who have purchased my books, I want to say thank you. And for those who have yet to decide, it's a worthwhile investment. Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose than to just gain. You will gain a copy of the book, and you'll gain some reading experience. And those who want to criticize, condemn, the best way to do that is to buy a copy, read a copy, and then you can judge based on what you have read. Whatever you want to criticize, but you have to read it first. So Azruddin Mohammed, the Minister of Floods and Misinformation, has been at it as a last lap. You know, when you're close to the end of the race and you realize that everybody else is ahead of you, you want to get rid of shame, you tend to put on theatrics and you put on an act just not to make yourself appear to be such a loser. After all, you finished the race. Matters not if you finish the race as a loser or an idiot. The main thing is you finish the race. And since Mohammed is on his last lap, the countdown to the extradition, he is amplifying his performance. And people would have none of that. The good, decent Guyanese would have none of that. So welcome to the Uncensored Guyana show. I am the Dr. L. Prasad, your precious gift. Without you, there is no me. And I'm grateful for that. That I am what I am because of you. And for the so-called pundits who realized that TikTok existed and Facebook had an app or an add-on where you can video or do selfie or do live, whatever it is. So those people who just came on the scene, I'm your senior when it comes to being a professional, being a media personality. I am your senior. I ain't talking by age. I'm talking by presence. I'm here for quite some time. Matter of fact, I can recall when YouTube was just doing their stuff, I uploaded a few videos around the time 2000, 2001, 2003. During that time, I uploaded short videos as I could have. from the Dr. Love Show. So you must understand that. You are not in my shoe. You could never fill my shoe. I'm a king compared to you idiots. A matter of fact, I'll go a step up. I am Lord Almighty compared to you idiots, including your imbecile boss, Azruddin. The only difference with him and I is that he has money, illegal money, stolen money. That's what he has. And his money gave him access, afforded him the opportunity to amass himself with a lot of stuff and toys and things like that. That's the only thing that's different. But I am massive, Lord Almighty, compared to Azruddin fucking Muhammad and his followers, whoever you are. I have nothing to dirty my name. Nothing. No charges, no crime, no accusation, nothing. I am squeaky clean. Because that matters. The energy is in your name. Your name must remain pure, undefiled, unblemished. That's what matters. And my name has the gold medal. Don't fabricate stuff. Don't make stuff up. Bring evidence. Provide evidence. You're going to use social media for nonsense? Go ahead. But I'm addressing it myself. All them that is jumping up now, running around with a camera, running around with a platform. Yes, you have a lot of followers. Why? Because the people who follow you have nothing to do with their lives. They have nothing to do with their time. Nothing. So the same people who follow fuckface Azruddin follows Ladyboy Mahipal, follows Ladyboy Sherrod Duncan. The same people. They have nothing to do than to, okay, click follow, click follow, click follow. That's it. Your audience is just the same. They just repeat stuff. Everybody share the same stuff. That's not genius. They're patronizing you because you're stupid. You're begging for attention. You're begging for sympathy. So they're patronizing you. Ain't nothing special. Compared to me, I have diversity. People with content and caliber and character, substance. Those are the ones who follow me. I know a lot of you low-life follow me too. I know that from the WinCam, PNC. I know that because you want to spy. You're looking for something that you can comment and say, oh, Dr. Dexter Todd is going to get you. Yeah, fuck Todd. I say, I've said, I'll say again, my observation, my intelligent observation caused me to arrive at the conclusion, and it is my conclusive opinion that the PNC executives are bisexuals and homosexuals. APNU executives, their leaders, their parliamentarians are bisexual and homosexual. That is my fucking opinion. Okay? Good. I want to extend on behalf of Guyana and Guyanese My concern, and I want to echo the sentiment of our great president, Irfan Ali, to the people of Venezuela on this tragic moment where they have experienced the worst earthquake in 100 years. Our president, Irfan Ali, on behalf of the Guyanese citizen, don't make empty promises. Not politicking or looking for international applause that, oh my gosh, he's a concerned president. No. When Ali says we are going to help, it means that the money is available to help. He doesn't have to go and get a loan and ask the IMF or the World Bank to give a loan and then he has to budget, go to parliament. No, it means the money is allocated. It is there to help neighbors, countries that may have disasters. So yes, while Venezuela has tens of millions of people and Guyana has less than 1 million, our generous president is still going to take our tax-paying dollar and do something good with it. He is doing something good with it, not funding anybody's political campaign, helping, joining with the rest of the region to come together to help a neighbor, a country, humans that needs that help. If I personally could have contributed, I would have. So I'm saying now, my contribution is to thank and support and stand by our president, Irfan Ali, for extending Guyana's resources like he did with Jamaica, St. Martin, all the countries that had natural disasters, hurricane and things like that. We are the humanitarians of CARICOM. Thank you, Irfan Ali. This is why I got you. I do. And also on the bit of the Venezuelan earthquake. You see, if you check the resources that are available, information resources, you would realize that around the same time yesterday, America, some of the states in America also had earthquakes. Little less, 5 point something, but they had earthquake. In Asia, there are many countries that experienced earthquake yesterday. I'm not a scientist in that field to know why it happened simultaneously. But like I said, nothing is new under the sun. Hurricane isn't new. Tornadoes aren't new. Earthquakes aren't new. Nothing is new. These things have been happening for thousands of years. But yes, whenever they do, people are caught by a surprise. Human being emotions, we amplify stuff. Yes, that's what happens. But earthquakes aren't anything new or strange. It's a strange phenomenon. In the end of the world, Jesus is coming. It just happened. Is Guyana at risk? No. You might get a little tremor. But Guyana, the country's position, is not close to fault lines that causes the shift that can trigger earthquake. Unless somebody drill Guyana's soil and get to the core and put a nuclear bomb there and then explodes it, then it will cause some massive. Otherwise to that, no, Guyana is not at risk for earthquakes. Tremors, yeah, but those magnitude 5, 6, 7, no, maybe 1, maybe 0.1. Neither is Suriname. It's about where your country is positioned on the world stage. If it's lower, higher, But I want to extend my support. Over 40 plus persons died, and almost 1,000 people are injured, and they're still counting the casualties. We will know in a few days, maybe weeks. But for now, you build a house on the sand. When the flood comes, that's what happens. Most of the buildings in Venezuela and in the Caribbean aren't built to withstand tremors. They aren't built for that. It's basic concrete and stone and steel, but they aren't built with certain building codes that can cater for earthquakes and things like that. But in America and other countries that are prone to that kind of thing, they have their building codes prepared so that contractors and builders and developers must follow these codes. Some don't, but it's by law they should. Now we should sensitize ourselves, and even though we're not exposed to these things, the government should review the codes and say, hey, we need to plan and prepare. You see, that's the same way how Guyana wasn't prepared for Azruddin. Guyanese politics wasn't designed for low-level idiots, street dog mentality. No, scrawly street dog mentality like Azruddin. The system was not designed for him. So because, thanks to the Afro-Guyanese who boycotted the PNC, abandoned the PNC because of Norton, and gave this fool a chance, thanks to them, we all now have to face international embarrassment. Because we were never prepared for that. We didn't cater for that. We didn't know that that was possible. We thought politics in Guyana was for the elite, educated, well-disciplined, highly moral. We thought that's what Guyana politics would have attracted, those kinds of people. You know, people that are genius in some way or the other, literate, well-spoken, can articulate. But somehow, the love of money caused us Guyanese to experience, in a literal sense, what it meant as being the root of all evil. Because of the love of money, we, as Guyana, was cursed with the root of all evil. And what is the root of all evil? Who is the root of all evil? Azruddin fucking Muhammad. The root of all evil. Because what? The love of money. I'll explain that. I'll explain that. Okay? He has absolutely no respect for authority. Azruddin Muhammad has no respect for authority. Why? Because his money gave him that leverage. His money gave him that privilege that he don't have to respect authority. He never did. Why? Because authority to him was just theory, as in the meaning of the word. But to actually experience someone who stood within the boundaries of their authority and stood disciplined, he corrupted everybody. All the authorities that he came in contact with in his life, he corrupted those authorities. So if he can corrupt the authority, how the heck you expect him to be respectful of authority? It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. So now that he has earned the position as accidental opposition leader, while by the Constitution he should, in the capacity, be respectful of the office of the president and the Constitution, he don't understand what that means. Even as opposition leader, he doesn't understand what that means, because to him, Ali is beneath him. Jagdeo is beneath him. Every politician in the parliament of Guyana is beneath him. That's Mohammed's mentality. Constitution or not, in his mind, they're all beneath him. And why would you hold him at fault for that? I don't. I don't hold him at fault for that. The reason for that is whoever, from the president to the people that he continually disrespect and dishonor, I would say they should have seen that coming. They should have understood. If you are going down a certain path in life and you understand that the possibility exists that you might be president or vice president or whatever it is, you must be prepared for that role now. Even while you may not be minister, you may not hold any public office, you must prepare yourself for the job ahead. But if you live free and you take everything for granted, you drink, you get drunk, before 6 o'clock, you're at the rum shop. Do they still have that at rum shops? Yeah, I forgot. Norton is often seen at a rum shop before 6. If you see that happening, why would you want to live a carefree life? Why would you want to walk in and out of corrupt people's offices that you know is corrupt? You know they are drug dealers. You know they are gangsters. You know they are men who are involved in distasteful, immoral activities. You know that. And yet you are going to be in their company because of money? You should have thought, what if I become president? What if I need to get into a good university? What if the police got you and then it's on your record and you need a police clearance to get something nice? What happens then? Are you going to regret the decisions you made? Yes, you would. So then don't make it. Don't do it. So Azruddin Mohammed, what he's doing now, in his mind, Ali can't tell me anything. Jack, you can't tell me anything. None of them can't tell me anything. Nobody can tell me anything because I pay all of them. They come to my office. They beg me for money. I give them this. I give them that. They are lowlifes. So whether they're president or minister, they're still lowlifes to me. How would you hold him at fault for that? The man has no character. For the things he did in his life, for the level of madness that came from him, the crimes he is associated with, what he grew up seeing his father do, how he see his father dealt with people, talked with people, treated people. You expect him to be different? I am certain he would have witnessed his father cussing out politicians on the phone, calling them lowlifes, good for nothing, beggars. If he grew up seeing his father treating politicians like that, and then those same politicians become ministers, you think they could tell Mohammed anything? In his mind, what the fuck are you talking about? You used to run around selling shrimp and sweetie on the roadways, and now you come playing something because you get a position. You're still a lowlife. Oh, a lot of you can understand that because you have a group of friends when you were young, playing around and stuff like that, and you all used to go and wash You know, you go to the goldsmith's house and you go to the gutter where the goldsmith would wash his stuff, and you dig the soil there and you're washing that soil to see what gold you can get to sell, to buy sweetie, or to buy this as kids. Or you may be selling, you may have sold guinea on the roadways to help your parents or to get school money. Or you may have had a sweetie stand where you sell some lollipop and some chips and some things, and you know. And then today, you may be a doctor or a lawyer or a businessman or a politician, and your friends then are telling you, "What the fuck you think you are?" You forget you used to go and dig mud and wash gold and wash cars for money and sell guinea on the side. They throw it in your face because they can't separate. They can't separate the fact that that was then, this is now. People have evolved. People have transformed their lives. They have grown. They have developed. And you can't come along with that same toxicity all your life. Some of them do. That's Azruddin's attitude towards Irfan Ali, Jagdio, and all the others. That's his attitude. Can't separate the fact that 10 years ago or 20 years ago, these men would have been much younger and would have done things what anybody at that age will do. He wants to hold them to that time. And the way he may have treated them or talked to them then, or his father, he wants the same kind of stupidity in those men that he saw then. So today, he can't reconcile the fact that Ali is president twice. Jagdio is president 2 times, now he's vice president twice. He can't reconcile that. And all the ministers that he's constantly attacking, he can't accept the reality that they won. And all his money didn't get him that. All it got him is a few sympathetic votes from some black people who has since regretted. Who has since regretted. I hope that's clear enough. This is personal to Azruddin Mohammed. What he is doing is personal. It's sabotage. It's what you call being vindictive because of jealousy. It's not about his crimes. It's not about the fact that he wanted President Ali's government to make a deal with America to save him from prison. No, it's not about that. This is about sabotage. Because he thinks that these people should keep bowing down to him. He is Lord and Master. He is the man with the money. He is now doing things on purpose, presumptuously. He's forcing it because he wants them to react. He wants them to react. You know, like provocation, like pushing, hit me, pushing. Yeah, that's what Azruddin is doing right now. He wants the president to hit him. He wants the vice president to hit him. He wants these people to hit him. He wants physical confrontation because he may have a plan B. But the plan B that he has, he can't execute it unless he has justification to execute it. And his justification is if the police arrest him, or if some people, a PPP member, slap him, push him, or do him any physical harm, then he's going to unleash his plan B. But he wants the opportunity to do it. And this is where the powers that be in Guyana must take cognizance of that. Azruddin is looking for a reason. But the reason has to be personal. It has to be somebody doing something to him personally. So every chance he gets, he's going to try to escalate situations because he wants confrontation. That's where he may go wrong. Because I tell him, and I'm telling all the people who thinks that his money can get him that privilege, look at the following you have now, Azruddin, on the ground. The following you have now on the ground, look at the composition of the following. You have no black, no Afro-Guyanese gives a fuck anymore about you. They have regretted the mistake. They're going back to the PNC. The PNC is using the weapon they have always used of racism. See David Hines now talking about Douglas. That Douglas is an insult from the Hindus. Let me spend some time on that. And before that, the problem that Essequibo faced with a storm that took off a few roofs and knocked down a few buildings and stuff like that, like I've said, just like Venezuela. Now that would have happened because of what happened in Venezuela. It was a preparation for that. A preview of the earthquake. Essequibo felt that impact by way of the storm and the rain and things like that. But to the average Guyanese, who may have vented your emotion and so on and so forth, you are still living in a very fortunate country. You're still living in a very fortunate. Guyana is at a very blessed strategic point where it's practically immune from natural disasters. You are still living in a very blessed country that a lot of the things your CARICOM brothers and sisters must endure on a yearly basis. Earthquake, hurricane, tornadoes, tsunamis, name it. You Guyanese would never experience it. Same with Suriname. So while you're cussing out your governments, understand that you have a bigger blessing to celebrate and that you're not subjected to the level of chaos your brothers and sisters are experiencing. The misfortune with Essequibo and the storm, it is what it is, a misfortune. It's not the first, it wouldn't be the last. When it comes to the ending of the rainy season, you get these things. It's like a climax. The government respond the way the government would respond because the government is there to take care of the citizens, to make sure that resources are allocated in times of these disasters and stuff so that citizens can get the relief that's necessary. So the president showed up. He didn't have to show up. He has ministries to deal with that. He didn't have to show up, but he did. Give him credit for that. Not every little house that flood, the president need to go to do what? He's not that's not his department. He has engineers, Ministry of Housing and Water, he has engineers to do that. But if every time he himself got to go there, I think it's abuse now. It's becoming abusive to the president. This is a different kind of politician you're dealing with now, Azruddin Mohammed. And every time he finishes his online rhetoric or his scripted videos, he ends with, I hope Guyanese can learn so the next time you know who to vote for. He's marketing. Everything he does is marketing. He's campaigning still. He can't realize that the elections was finished last year. The elections that's coming up is not general elections, not for the president, it's for local government, the local government elections. But everything he does must be tied to, you owe me one. You better vote for win the next election. It can't be like, I just want to help. I stole 191 billion from taxpayers. I have a lot of money. I can offer hampers whenever. And I'm just doing it because I want to help. No, it's always tied to, you better vote for me because I'm giving you this kind of stuff. So this is why black people have rejected the clever, smart Indo-Guyanese are telling him, get the fuck out, leave, we don't want you here, because they peep his game. They're like, this is the typical gangster. You're not giving anything because you really want to give. You're giving because you need you need some payback. I'm helping you because I want something back. Help the Amerindian family because he saw they have some young females, 9, 10, 11 years old. And you got to give me one of those. That's the man you made opposition leader. That is embarrassing the country. So Essequibians, your government did what any government would have done. The president showed up amidst the storm to say, hey, we're going to do what we got to do. Fix stuff, provide relief. But I want to reiterate this. He didn't have to go. It was not a natural, it was not a national disaster. It's a storm that ripped a few roofs off. That's it. But he showed up. Now, regarding the so-called Minister of Flood and Misinformation, going with his speedboats, yachts, and these turbine boats that when you want to run from the law, you have your drugs, and the drugs are dropped. The planes drop the drugs at certain savannas because they can't do it on land because the cops are there. You need these kinds of boats, you know, with a big fan at the back to traverse those terrain to go and take the drugs. So Azruddin will have boats like that. Land and water, any way they can go. And basically people like that would have those in terms of getting illegal items that can't go through the custom way, the way of the legal channels. It can't go through there. When they need to smuggle the gold and smuggle the drugs, they need those kinds of machine, those boats, so they can cover savannas. The Guyanese who rejected his cursed hampers, they have every right to do that. Because I want to emphasize this point. The persons who would have been underwater, and because the water has no place to go because of the tide and things like that, check back. This is not the first time, and this is not the first government that those areas would have experienced flooding. Happened during the PNC time too. Those low-lying areas, you build your city by the river rises, you get flood. This is common sense. So you go, what you do, you go inland, you go where the land is higher. But cities are built close to the water because of access. Trade, you know, it's the water side, people do things by ocean. Because at the time these cities were built, planes weren't so accessible. So you had to get, a lot of the things were done by boats and ships. Closer to the sea, better you build your cities there. Everyone, including the few families who lived along that area where the flooding takes place, receives cash grant. Because we care grant, cash grant, all the financial services that Irfan Ali government extends to Guyanese, every Guyanese, flood or not, receive it. Every Guyanese. For those of you who are pushing this thing, the Guyanese government left the people abandoned. Monies are budgeted for this and that, and the usual nonsense that they talk. I need you to understand, every Guyanese received the benefits from the government. If you live in an area that you know is prone to flooding, you can make a decision to move, to relocate. Because if it's prone to flooding, which is a natural phenomenon, next year it wouldn't be different. They could dig the trenches deeper. It would not be any different. All you need to do as a resident of that particular place that gets constant flood is just to move. The government would prioritize your application faster. You say, hey, I'm living where it's flooding. I need a land so I can break my house down and build it there. If the government don't come and help you faster, then you can complain. But if the waters recede, and you're like, okay, it's not going to happen again. Every year, the same thing. But you don't want to move. Why is that Ali's fault? Why is that Irfan Ali's fault? Ali don't cause the flooding. Ali has no operations in the interior. He's not a gold miner. Who is the gold miner? Who is the biggest gold miner? The Mohammeds. For years. They were the biggest gold miners for years. So why can't they take responsibilities for blocking the river? For damaging the streams? Why can't they take responsibility? Because when you are in the gold mine business, you affect nature. You reroute rivers because you need access to the resources of that river. Why can they also be held responsible? Is the government need to clear these areas? They always complain about the Lethem Road. How much trucks and logging and so on are turning over. They're getting stuck. They're always complaining about that. But how many, again, like the Mohammeds, like the members of APNU and the PNC, they have massive concessions with logging, gold mining. They're the ones who traverse the Lethem Road every day with their heavy-duty trucks with tons and tons and tons of wood and other resources all day for years, decades. How much tax do they pay? 191 billion has been stolen by the Mohammeds, okay? All the other people who are joining the cry and talking about the government in building the Lethem Road, the government in taking care of these roads so that gold miners can access, how many of them pay their due for exploiting, for abusing, for damaging the forestry of Guyana? How many pay taxes? They reap for years hundreds of millions, hundreds of billions. They reap for years. They have houses all over the world. And they're complaining that the government is using your taxpayers' money to help them out when they aren't paying taxes. And they're the ones exploiting the interior. If the roads are bad for you to do survey, don't do it. Don't go. But you still go because the money is there. Then why complain? You're not paying taxes. You're not building the roads. You're not helping to take care of the infrastructure. Then shut the fuck up. The government has to prioritize where people are. Where people are. People who are actually paying taxes. They need to focus more on those regions. Help those people. You're milking the interior. You're milking everything. and you want taxpayers to build roads for you to drive your big heavy trucks and exploit the forestry. Like I said, what Azruddin has done with the so-called hampers and fighting with people, embarrassing people, or thinking he can embarrass people, telling the man if he can spell erosion. You know, I would say, oh, that is unbecoming of an opposition leader. But he's not the opposition leader. How he is dealing with those other men, confrontational, provocative, bullying them, dressing with camouflage as if he wants to intimidate people with his fucking crapo face, like a toad, like a fucking crapo, you know, Ninja Turtle. He can only do that because he knows he got some niggas that got his back. Some dumb niggas that takes his money is going to take a bullet for him. That's why he can bully those other men like that. Or anywhere he goes, he wants to fight. He wants to slap people around because he knows the people are seeing the people you're not seeing on the camera. And those niggas are scaring the shit out of the people. That's why they don't want to do Azruddin anything. But let him show up alone. Let him show up alone and play that bullyism that he's playing. Money or not, they'll beat his ass. He will get some whooping in his stupid ass. Let him show up alone. Because that image you saw with him trying to bully grown men, trying to embarrass them, walking around with his hand out as though people have to move away. I'm coming, move away. There are a lot of people there who wanted to whoop his ass. A lot of people there who wanted to beat his dumb ass. Because they see you're not fucking opposition leader. You're just a lowlife who got lucky. You're a lowlife who got lucky. So nobody has respect for you. You're saying you're disrespectful to the president. Well, nobody is respectful for you, Azruddin. You are a criminal, a lowlife. Nobody respects you. They have nothing to respect. So your role is limited. And your days are numbered. In the meantime, Guyanese need to understand that. But like I said, they're gullible. They're idiots that are gullible. They like the show. It's entertaining. Oh, them young boys are like, yeah, he's a gangster. I like that, gangster. Yeah, they like that. The little girls are like, oh my gosh, he is tough. He is tough. You know, the rough kind of thing, the military thing, and the whole, you know, the whole bullyism thing. Yeah, it works well for kids. It's kind of cartoonish. Maybe you're the opposition leader to that. But as sane individuals, common folks, responsible folks, it's a turnoff. There should be some kind of definition when it comes to being in politics. You're dressed like you're dressed like an asshole. You're shitty. And the entire personality of a billionaire in politics, so low life. I tell you, Azruddin Mohammed, I tell you, if elections were called tomorrow, as much as I cuss a lot, everybody cuss. The president of America cuss. He cuss more than I do. So if he can cuss, I can cuss. But if elections were called and I'm on the ballot and you, Azruddin, is on the ballot, I can guarantee you. Money or no money. Yeah, maybe your money, if your money has a chance, yeah. But if it's just the two of us, I would run away with 90% of the votes. I, Dr. Prasad, 90% of the votes. People will vote for me. Yeah, 100%. The only way you might get some votes, or you might beat me in an election race, is if you pay for votes, and I can't afford that. But on the merit of personality, intelligence, common sense, professionalism, I would win any race, anytime, any day. against you or them idiots that you have in your party. 100%. Yeah. So I want to digress here. We saw about, on the legal side of things, they're criticizing the whole cybercrime, not cybercrime, the whole monitoring of Facebook and monitoring of the internet, that the government is trying to protect children. I'm for it. I am 100% behind that. Because when you look at the demographic of criminals in Guyana, most are black. From the cradle to the grave, black. Because you have black people, the leaders of the other blacks, like that nigger David Hines, who is pushing the narrative now that Hindus invented the word Douglas to insult the children of a union between black and Indian. So they're saying if you sleep with a black man and get a child, your child is cursed and he's a Douglas. It means he's a low life, he's a low caste, he's an outcast. That is what David Hines is resurrecting and pushing to black people, so they can now inhale more hatred towards Hindus. They say, oh, all the time you're calling me a Douglas, you are cursing me, insulting me, because my mother or my father slept with an Indian, and by that I am accursed. I've asked many times for people to pay attention to what these people are saying. However little it is, they are not concerned about a massive viewership. They just want to get to the very few really radical, dunderheads, low-life scums that are niggers to hook their mind. Then it's easy for them to say, hey, go and commit crime against the Indians or the Hindus. It's easy because they've already laid the platform, the foundation, that they can justify violence against another race. So him pushing this thing now about this Douglas thing, the only agenda is that when they're ready for their violence, these people would go out and do whatever they say. And these are the people, coupled with Azruddin Mohammed, these are the people that are in your parliament. A man that has a history of racism, calling for revolution, justifying the massacre of Barnum. He was elected to sit in the parliament to represent which demographic of African Guyanese, which part? Which Afro-Guyanese is David Hines and his gang of fools representing? Because the Afro-Guyanese in the PPP, they have relatives who may also be, who are also sympathetic to the PNC. The Afro-Guyanese in the PNC would not see themselves pushing the narrative of David Hines or the PNC. They wouldn't see themselves doing that. So who is he representing? Who are they trying to tell to continue to hold this kind of animosity against an innocent group of people? Who? This is the man that is in the parliament. So, Mr. Anil Nandalal, the laws that you're coming for now, you should also target people like Hines. They can't afford to make those statements and keep saying what they're saying, and then at the same time, enjoying the benefits of the taxpayers' money by virtue of being members of parliament. That's a sacred institution. From the opposition leader to a racist bastard, and Guyanese are funding that. Taxpayers are funding these men. The law should also accommodate these kinds of stuff so that they should be disqualified from the parliament. Mohammed and Hines should be disqualified from the National Assembly. You said it, Anil Nandalal. There are laws for everything. Everything. Don't bother with them niggas who don't want that law to come. They want violence to be continued to traffic social media. They want the children to be continued exposure to these kinds of influences so they can go out and terrorize society, fight more in schools, kill more people, murder more people. They want that. And the only way they can reach a mass amount of Guyanese children is via Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and they want to keep those things alive. I am saying, censor it. Bring the law. Censor it. Let's get a system like China and Russia, India, where you protect your future. Bring some order in the system. All the people who are against it because it works for them. So they need to keep that alive. It works for them. Guyana needs first-class citizens. And you can't have first-class citizens if you continue to give access to these lowlifes like Mohammed and David Hines and all the others. You can't. You have to censor them and block them. So they cannot use social media to poison the minds of the generation. Look at the court cases. 11 years a black woman faced for murdering a black man. Sex crimes. She got 11 years for that, burning him alive. A black man is now, I don't know how much years he'll get for murdering his gay lover, Sir Mars. Name it. Look at the headlines. If you have 100 cases of murder in the courts, 99 are black people murdering other black people. And all of them are PNC members, supporters of the PNC. Why the blood? Why the violence? Why the lust to take people's lives? Why? Do you see any coming out of the PNC's page, Azruddin's page, condemning murder? Do you see any of them calling for heavier punishment to criminals? No, it doesn't bother them. All they do is talk about oil money and oil money and oil money and all the fucking criminal Doreen Best and all the others. Oil money. Oh, the government is this, is corrupt. They're friends and family, and nobody's getting access. And it's because of this, you see. And if you vote again, don't vote for the PPP because they're giving money to their friends and family. That's all you are hearing. They are obsessed with the oil, man. What are you, fucking Puff Daddy? Are you P. Diddy? If you want oil, Doreen Best. Your gay lover, Doreen Best. Or the VPAC guy, the VLAC guy. If you are so obsessed with oil, I mean, I know you are. Baby oil is sold in the shop. Go buy a few bottles. Baby oil. Puff Daddy has shown you how to do it. P. Diddy. He's out next year or whenever. Go and get baby oil in the shops. Azruddin Mohammed, pay the taxpayers their money. Your time is soon come. If you want somebody to hit you, they will. Believe me, they will. They're going to say, one of these days, before the end of June, you keep pushing this shit and insulting people, provoking people, they're going to put the law out of their mind. They're going to sacrifice the position that they get, that you think the government gave them, and they would say, fuck it, enough is enough. Somebody got to shut this guy's mouth. And they're going to reach their hand out and bitch slap your stupid ass. Then they're going to walk into the station and say, I did it. If you don't calm yourself down, and at least try to be a professional opposition leader. Because that missed you yesterday. You really wanted that for somebody to put a whooping on your ass. You really wanted that. Then you cry, it's PPP's people. It is political persecution. Then your slutty sister can write to the CCJ and say, look here, look at what they're doing to my brother. They're persecuting my brother. The PPP is putting, not the PPP. President Irfan Ali is putting his thugs to harass my brother. So you need to cancel this case because they're doing it because they think that you're not going to send my brother to America. So you need to tell them, don't touch my brother. Your bitch ass sister. Yeah, I said it. So what? Anyway. Have I covered everything? Yeah, I have. Share this live. I would like to hear from you in the comment section. And remember, your subscription to YouTube is important. So click the subscribe button and let us grow. Let us expand. In that case, we can help to keep Guyana sane and Guyanese on the right track so they know where to stand and who to support. And they can be patriotic citizens, first-class citizens. But you can't be a first class if you follow low-class people. Azruddin Mohammed and the APNU camp are a bunch of losers and lowlifes. They want to keep you at the lowest caste possible. The PPP's agenda is to lift Guyanese up, to raise Guyanese, so that we can enjoy a modern country being first-class citizens, being citizens of virtue and character and learning. We need that. President Ali wants that for his people. Mohammed don't have to respect him, but we love him, we honor him, and we respect our president. So click the subscribe button and go to Amazon.com, the Kindle store, and purchase a copy of the books Prince Ali and the President series volume 1 to volume 8. Purchase a copy. Let's make Guyana healthy and safe again. Until next time. Thanks for your attention. Let me see you properly. Yeah. Thanks for your attention.